Hello, viewers, and welcome to today's episode of Disappointed Dragon. So today we've got another thrift store roundup. For people who don't know, my brother and I, we like to go to the thrift stores quite often. We usually go once, maybe twice a week, and every now and again I'll put together a pile of all the cool things we found to show off to people at home. So one of the first things I've got here is actually something my brother picked up. It is a big pig warrior who we have called the Technical Pig. We found this at the thrift store for $5, and we thought it was just too cool to leave behind. So he's actually a bit big, a little bit too big to fit in screens. Let's kind of pan up a little bit. And you'll see here that he's a big chunky piece of plastic. He's got a ball joint in his neck. He has a ball joint in this arm. This arm has a ball joint as well, but it also has a little spring there so that he can swing his hammer. But he has one other very cool feature. So when I showed him to my brother, I showed him the giant pig, and he said, "That's really cool." Then I did this. And he said, "That's very cool," which I agree. So this is from, I believe, Minecraft Dungeons, a game I haven't played, but I think it's like a dungeon crawler adventure game version of Minecraft. Very cool. Haven't played it, but it's just such a nice toy. And what was even better about it is we actually were continuing to shop around, and we went to a game store, and they had a new one of these in box for something like $40, and we paid $5. So, you know, even better. Very cool toy. Very chunky. Love it. Second thing, something that I found for myself, and I have no idea what it is. This big old robot boy right here. Now, he's really cool. I don't know what he's from, but he's giving off a very cool old toy vibe, so he's really posable with very nice clicky ratchets. He's a little bit too big again for my camera, which is a bit of a pain, but if I put him in a split so you can see his head up in there. And he's pretty posable as well. Like I say, lots of ratchets. Pretty much all of his joints are ratcheted. And it looks like at one point he also had armor that you could put onto him. Now, a lot of the times when you look at these things, you can kind of like look at their foot to sort of see what they're from. But he just has a copyright from something called Hambitsoft. And it says copyright Daiwan CNA made in China Habisoft. But it doesn't have like the year or what it's from. So if anybody has any idea what this robot is from, let me know, because he is awesome. The only downside to him is like he's got really like bendy knees, bendy elbows. The only problem is his legs don't actually like go forward and back at all, like beyond this. They can't go forward at all. They have like a backwards bend, but they don't really bend forward, so you can't like have him walking or anything, because he can't bend his legs that way. But you can still get him into some, put him to the back a bit more. You can still get him into some like dynamic poses. You can kind of stand all proud of his justice. And I have to say, he's a really cool toy. I have him in my display case with some of the other cool finds. I just thought he was such a neat thing. I really like ratchets in toys, and this guy's take the cake. They're very clicky. Very, very clicky. As you can hear, as I try to get him back into a stance where I can put him back into my display case when we're done here. Alrighty. Those are the two biggest things. But it's not the only two action figures we found. No. Another one that we found, this Biker Mouse from Mars. So if people don't know what Biker Mouse from Mars is, Biker Mice from Mars, they were a bunch of alien mice from Mars who rode motorcycles. And there was a bunch of toys of them. There was one that had a robot arm. There was another one that had sunglasses. And there's this guy with his half-robotic face. And they're very neat. They're kind of ridiculous. They had helmets, which is why his antennae go back in, so you could put the bicycle helmet on him, and then he would sit on his bike. Very cool. I had one of these when I was a kid as well. I had the one with the robotic arm, and he had like a football jersey on. It's kind of like the not Transformers, the Ninja Turtles, where they had all different versions of them in like weird costumes that weren't from the show. So like in a football uniform, or as a scuba diver or whatever, right? So they were really cool. A friend of the channel, Valhalla, he really likes Biker Mice from Mars. We've actually bought him some VHSs and comics of it that we found over the years. He's very fun. It's very cool. Yeah, that's it for the action figures, though. It's really neat. very old. I believe this was early 90s. Might have been late 90s. Either way. Oh, wait, actually, this one we can tell. It says it on his leg there. 1993. So fairly old at this point. Galoob Toys. We've seen them on the channel before. 1993. How many years ago was that? 31? Yeah, 31 years ago. This is a 31-year-old toy. Not quite older than me, but getting close. Very neat. Another really, really old thing that I found that I have absolutely no use for, actually, is this box of floppy disks. Verbatim Data to Life 2 HD Special 12 pack. The 3D printed save icons. Don't ask me why I bought a box of floppy disks. I can't use them for anything. I just thought it was really neat to have one sealed and unused. Just thought it was really cool. I'm going to keep those forever and do something with them. Another thing we found. My favorite anime, Pat Labor, the Mobile Police TV series. Found the entire collection on knockoff DVDs. Only problem, didn't realize when I bought it, doesn't have the dubbed. This is the Japanese audio, and it's supposed to have English subtitles, but I have not been able to get them to work. I already have the series. I just picked it up because it was like $20 and I love the series. But at the same time, it was the first anime I ever saw on VHS from a video store called Video Update, which no longer exists. So, yeah, fond memories of that. Like it. Really like mechs. And the Mobile Police Pat Labor mechs are really cool. It's a very strange show because the TV show was kind of like a much lighter tone, and they had an OVA series, which was where all the movies were, and they were completely different. It was very strange. Next. IQ Tester, as you can see, it was $2.99 at my thrift store. So this, I kept seeing these on, like, social media ads on Facebook and stuff. It's apparently a IQ test. You have all of these different puzzles in here. You set up these pieces like in the puzzle, and you have to figure out how to fill in the rest of the spaces with the remaining pieces. It's a really cool idea. It was, as you can see, $3. And I thought that'd be really neat to try one of these days when I'm on vacation, camping, and I don't have internet. I can try and solve some puzzles and maybe keep myself a little bit sharper. I thought that was really neat, and I wanted to mess around with it. I haven't tried any of the puzzles yet. I was recently trying to solve an extremely difficult Rubik's Cube called the Megamorphics Cube, and I found that I'm not smart enough to solve that one. I can't get my head around it, so I'm not sure if I want to try doing another type of puzzle at the moment. And then we have one more item for this episode, one more really strange, very special item that I'm very excited about but will never have any use for, and that is the Mona MK703 sensor stereo cassette adapter. So what this is an adapter for your audio cassettes to 8-track. So you can play it on your 8-track player in your car or wherever you have an 8-track. Now, no battery requirement. This thing is crazy. You can see the original price, $64.95. I did not pay that much. I paid $2 for it. But this is crazy. It's got the Mona Electronics, Vancouver, Markham, Ontario. It's still in the styrofoam case. Japan. Which is weird because it says... Well, it's made in Japan, but for Vancouver, BC Electronics. Like, it's just this crazy old thing. It says Japan, you open it up, and it has even more interesting stuff in it. So it's got, like, here, we've got the instructions, specifications, in French, because here in Canada, everything has to be in English and French. So we've got that there. We have our service warranty card, which I'm going to assume is expired. And actually, nope, they haven't torn it yet. We've got the whole warranty card from Mona Electronics, located in Vancouver. I might have to look up and see if they still exist. You know what? I'll have editor me take a look and see if this company still exists, because I am curious. I highly doubt it, but if it does. And then it comes in this cool orange box that has a little bit more information on it here, how to operate. No battery required sensor system. It can be used with every type of home and car stereo. To insert cassette tape into the holder, be sure that the operation lever is on the stop side. I'm not going to read the whole instructions. It's really neat. I love how it still has this box and everything, too. Made in Japan. Lubrication is not necessary. Clean the playback head. You know, this is a good time to mention that I have never actually owned an 8-track or 8-track player or ever heard one that I can think of. It was completely before my time, not something I've ever used. But here we have it. It's just a big old lump of plastic with a control on the front. Mona MK sensor stereo cassette adapter. We've got rewind, we've got stop, and we've got play, which controls the rollers up here. It's just such a weird thing. It even has the manufacturing number stamped on the back with the patent number from Japan, Tokyo Mona, Japan. It's just such a crazy thing. I don't know when abouts this was made. I'm certain it's on here somewhere, and I could probably find out. But I can guarantee you it's long enough in the past that it'll never see any use again, because I don't think that anyone has enough nostalgia for 8-tracks for this to ever have any use besides being a curiosity. Let's see if it has some information on the year on here. Let's see. Stamped on still. $7.95 for stereo components to obtain repairs under this warranty. 1 year on parts and labor. Limited. Service warranty. I don't think we're going to find any information on the year this was made. I can almost guarantee you it's far enough back that it's older than me. That I can pretty much guarantee. This is definitely going to be older than me. How old? I don't know. But I do love it, because you don't see a lot of things that have the patent number on them as well as the trademark number. It's just such a great thing. In fact, I also don't know when 8-tracks stopped being common, because the only reason you would have an adapter like this is if 8-tracks were more common than cassettes. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to manufacture them. But man, is it a neat thing. I love it so much. I like to find treasure like this, things that are so old and weird that I can just put this somewhere and look at it. It's going to go on my shelf with all the other stuff. Same with the floppy disks. Go with all of my retro technology that I have that's no longer of use. Maybe I should put the styrofoam back together properly, though. Right? That's a good idea. I just realized the styrofoam has a indent on one side, so you can close it, and it actually closes all the way. There we go. Let's not wreck this beautiful piece of history. That's all I've got to show you guys this time. If I find any more cool stuff, we'll do another video. That'll do it for this one, guys. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and take a look around some thrift stores. You never know what crazy stuff you'll find. All right. Bye-bye.